Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrible and Home Care. Thank you so much for joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very much. And I always love when somebody comes on that makes the HTV here look better. So it's always good to have somebody on. A dear friend of mine, Ginny, welcome to the program. Ginny Hamilton, of course, principal at Vandebilt Catholic High School.
Well, it's great to be here, Keith. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. You know, we've watched over these last few months, we've watched the resilience of all of the people that have gone through so much. Let's talk a little bit about what this year was like for you guys at Vandebilt.
Wow. So this is my second year as principal.
Right.
And after the first year, I said, okay, in the second year, I'll get to be principal instead of the COVID queen.
Right.
Right. And so, that, well, it's all of those responsibilities come along with being principal, including, having to deal with the hurricane that we had at the beginning of the year. So we had grand plans for getting back to some normalcy at the beginning of the year. Even though we were still in masks at the beginning of the year, we were like, it was a little bit, we were a little more used to it and we can move forward. And then the hurricane came and kind of shook it up a little bit. Like you said, though, the resiliency of our faculty and staff, our students and families has just been amazing and awesome in the true sense of the word. It's been amazing to see and to witness our faculty, staff, and students, really push through.
And it's been amazing to me. I got to tell you, one of my favorite moments this whole school year was watching how Vandebilt and E.D. White found a way to coexist together. And it was just the welcoming that they provided and the humility of Vandebilt going there and their welcoming. It was just remarkable to see. It was very moving. Talk a little about that process a little bit and how it worked out so well.
Sure. We have our rivalry, right?
Absolutely.
And I always liken it to, your brothers and sisters, right?
Sure.
And
Sibling
siblings.
rivalry, right?
Absolutely. You can make fun of your siblings all you want, but nobody else better, right? And that's that relationship that we have. We can be rivals with each other, but nobody else better talk bad about E.D. White in our presence. Only we're allowed to do that, right? Of course, in fun.
Right.
But it was a great opportunity for us to work together. E.D. White, we're so thankful to their staff and their families and students who welcomed us in.
Mm-hmm.
We met with them several times about, what can we do? How can we, coexist, like you said, on their campus. They opened their doors. The kids loved being there. And our teachers were able to quickly, adjust to that environment and to that campus. And it was a great experience. It really was. They were so just so welcoming and with everything and everything that we went through at the beginning of the year.
And if ever there's a description of acclimation, that is it. Your students and families and everyone, staff, acclimated so well to that process. It almost became seamless. And it's all about the learning opportunity. And the kids were able to really thrive in that environment remarkably.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I attribute so much of that to just the perseverance and the resilience and the professionalism of our staff. Mm-hmm. They're just phenomenal. And, they had to be that model and, that role model for our students about, to being able to adapt and move forward. And they really did such a phenomenal job. Yeah. It's a privilege to work with them.
Well, and we talk all the time about the importance of modeling, and we want to model good behavior. We want to model the best way to deal with things, and like you said, your staff and teachers just did a great job of saying, okay, this is what we're dealt, this is where we are, let's just see how we can make this work. And y'all move that forward to having some of the most remarkable scholastic and athletic programs this year. Like, how do you do that? Right? Without some incredible teachers and staff, how do you do that? And coaches, I mean, it's just, as we lead into where we are now, y'all have come so far in being able to overcome some of those hurdles.
Absolutely. Our student successes in academics, in the arts, and in athletics have been just awesome. They didn't skip a beat, right? You'd think we would a little bit, but, we kind of we had to hold off a little bit before we were back in school, and then once we got in, we were like, okay, nothing's going to hold us back now. We're moving forward, and it was amazing. With kids and our students, their families, and our faculty dealing with some of them still living in trailers or campers or at other people's homes or still with their houses under construction, and they still moved forward and really push towards that academic excellence and that holistic education that we at Vandebilt pride ourselves on and work towards as our mission. And our teachers pushed through that and brought that to our students to make sure that they had those opportunities.
Yeah, I remember doing a show with some of the staff about what it was like coming back that first week and all of the projection of what a lot of the kids thought that they were going to see. Mm-hmm. And I think they handled it so well because, like you said, a lot, especially back at that time when you guys were able to move back onto campus, were in campers in other people's homes. And they went back to what was home for them at school. And it's different, but we're back home.
Right.
This is just a different version of home. And it was just really, really nice to see and how they embraced that.
Absolutely. We were so proud of our students who were just excited to be back in our building, whether we had cement floors or not, whether the windows were boarded up or not. They were just happy to be in the building. And it was so beautiful to see, that we were worried. We were worried that they were going to come in and not see the floors. Everything looked a little raw and that was going to affect them. And they were just so excited to be there.
We talk about all the things that you guys had overcome, all of the challenges, and just to have such an outstanding year. We talked about some of the arts and how they've really excelled and all of the scholastics, but to be able to do what you guys did athletically has been an exciting time. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So our cross-country girls team, our track girls team, and our baseball team all got state championships this year. Girls track and girls cross country. We've been leading up to that. Our baseball team, though, this is their first state championship since 1971, and it's been just such a great celebration for them to get to that point. So it's been phenomenal. It has been so much fun for our kids.
And for some of us who aren't even really long distance fans or track and field fans, we get to watch and be able to see Vanderbilt really excel for the last several years. It was really interesting. One thing COVID couldn't do was touch how great that team has been. Y'all have had some wonderful people on there, and for those of us who know Chestnuts in the area,
right.
For all of the good things that have been done, with them in that group. But still, one of the things that we are excited, that's incredible to now have another baseball championship to win state since 1971.
Yep.
That's a long time ago, even in our world, Jenny.
Right.
Yeah. And so I know how excited those kids were, but let's talk about what both of those groups had to overcome to be able to do that.
Absolutely. So the baseball diamond and that facility was pretty damaged during the hurricane, and so there was a lot of construction that was happening right up to the point of their having to start with games,
right.
Not just practice, but with games.
Right.
We were still building walls and putting up lights and trying to get everything back together, for their games. So for baseball, it was, facility right up until the very, very, very first game and even through some of that. So going through that for them was, it was a little stressful. Are we going to be ready? Are we going to be ready?
Right.
And then for the girls, for track and cross country was going on during the, while we were platooning and
right.
while we were not on our campus. So they were practicing wherever they could at Edie White and other areas where the coaches could find a spot for them to run and doing their best to try to find track meets that, and cross country meets, that they could
right.
go to because everything was just up in the air. And they did a fantastic job of pulling that together. The coaches making sure that the students were all still organized and ready to go and training. And they, of course, persevered and came out on top. It's great.
It's remarkable. And that leads right into maybe the most exciting time that we can all remember is graduation.
Absolutely.
And so this has been an incredible weekend. And so tell us a little bit about leading up to graduation and what it was like for these seniors to know that they're going to be able to walk across stage and graduate.
So this was my second graduation.
Right.
And but the first one with no masks and no limits on the amount of people in the civic center. So it was truly just a joyous experience for all of us. The Father PJ Madden, our diocesan administrator, celebrated the Mass for us, and he's just phenomenal. He spoke directly to the kids, and they were so engaged. We were all so engaged in his words. He's just such a wonderful, wonderful teacher and minister. It was just amazing to have him there. And then going on to graduation, the kids practiced the day before. They were so excited. And then they were so very well behaved throughout the entire time, as they always are.
Yeah, but as a principal, could you not be more excited, right?
This is my geek side of me is
I'm
were
with you.
so good. And I'm so excited. And our families, everyone they were just perfect. It was really great. And, and the kids let loose at the right time, right? When it was time to do the alma mater. And I know we posted it on Facebook when they threw their hats. And at that point gave me goosebumps when that happened,
Right.
because it was, those kids were when they were sophomores, they were sent home for the fourth quarter. When they were juniors, it was no dances, no assemblies, no pep rallies, only so many kids in the stadium, and we had to keep telling them to I always felt so evil. You have to stay away from each other. You have to 6 feet apart. Oh my gosh, all the time. And this year we were able to just do a little bit more, and then we had more plans, and we finally had some school dances that they got to go to, and
Right.
and it was just such a celebration of everything that they've been through, and being able to say, "You made it. Here you are." And you guys are amazing.
Well, I know how you are as a proud mama, but I got to tell you, it echoes the proud mama in what y'all have been able to do and how exciting that is. And to be able to, and this is kind of a concept, I guess, from an etiological standpoint, a concept of being able to harness that energy and being able to really be restrained when you need to and be able to let go when you need to. I think that maybe kind of epitomizes what they've done this year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The kids have, they have, like we've been saying, and I can't say it enough, they have persevered, and their resilience is just phenomenal, again, because of just great models with our staff and our teachers and faculty at our school. And the kids, like you said, they know what to do and when to do it. And that's a testament to their families as well as to our school environment.
Well, it's about great leadership, too. And let's not forget those
Well,
who
thank
are
you.
the principal of the school as well, and really being proud of what you've been able to do, and maybe the toughest 2 years that any principal could have these last 2 years. So congratulations to what you
Thank
and
you.
your team has done and what Vandebilt has accomplished. So thanks for
Thank you.
joining us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Keith.
All right. And that will do it for this particular segment of Bayou Time. Don't go anywhere. Got a whole lot more Bayou Time when we continue.